This is a Cuvier's dwarf caiman. These animals are tropical. That means that they require warm and humid environments. This particular animal is thought to be a few months old. She is a female. That means that she's now about 30 to 35 centimeters, but she can grow up to 1.20 meters. They are carnivorous, so they have a varied diet. At the moment, she is eating fish and chicken, but once she feels more comfortable in the habitat, and once she becomes more comfortable with us as well, we are planning to diversify her diet and introduce new food items to it.
And what can you tell us about how she's doing and how she's being cared for?
She's doing really well. She's been here for almost 3 weeks. She came from an environment that is completely different from the one that she's living in at the moment. Now, the park is prepared to house her indoors in the winter time, so we can control her environment, the temperature and humidity. But we also have exterior habitats where she could potentially spend the summer when the temperature becomes warmer, and she can get direct sunlight, which she needs.
Now, one of the purposes of the Wildlife Conservation Park is to care for sort of these exotic species that have made their way into Gibraltar illegally. So is this still a problem?
I know that there are animals, wild animals, that are being kept as companion animals in Gibraltar. I imagine that most of them are here legally, but we also know that there's a high probability that there are animals, wild animals, being kept as companion animals that are not legal in Gibraltar. The best message that we can put out there is to actually ask people to do a very thorough and adequate research about the species that they would like to house, that they would like to care for, before they actually acquire that animal. And when they do so, that they do it legally.
Would you sort of discourage people from having exotic pets in the first place? So?
Absolutely, absolutely. What we're hoping is to have a sort of like a preventive measure where people are not even acquiring these animals. There are other companion animals that would potentially engage more with you, give you all of that oxytocin that you need to become happier. They provide more feedback than a caiman or even a bird or snakes or other animals that do come to the zoo at some point. So we are trying to reach out to people and explain the importance of not keeping wild animals as companion animals.